you up in boom boom bosh, boom boom, tell me I'm the only one that you...
Hi guys, welcome back to ST Supercars, welcome to a new vid. So today behind me you can see I'm not actually in the M140, I'm out in a 986 Porsche Boxster S. So I've mentioned this a few times in my videos and it's something I've really wanted to do. So today the plan is I am gonna jump in the car, go for a drive and kind of share with you guys what I think about this car, what's great about it, some of the things I don't actually like. Sorry for the wind, it's really windy here. And some of the reasons why I actually think as a second-hand proposition this is probably the best value for money car you can get. It's certainly up there. We'll discuss some of the alternatives, but in terms of second-hand heroes, this has got to be one. First off though, I have just bought a new tripod. So in order to test out the tripod today, I wanted to try and get some new panning shots of this car. So I'm going to insert some shots below, and if you can let me know what you think in the comments around, are they good, are they better than the previous ones I've done, because everything I've done beforehand was handheld and not on a tripod. But I have actually opted for a slightly cheaper tripod at this point in time, but if the results are okay, I'll stick with it. However, if not, I'll just get a new one down the line. So let me know what you think. And here we go. So I've had a little bit of a technical issue with equipment in that my main camera battery has just died. So apologies if there is a difference in quality to normal, but given that I'm already out, I just thought, you know what, I'll use the equipment I've got. I mean, it's still pretty good quality. Hopefully the sound's okay because it is very, very loud in here. And yeah, we can just crack on with the video. So I want to just kind of go through some of the things I do like, some of the things I don't like, and why essentially I think this is such a great proposition for a second-hand kind of weekend car. So just as I'm going to navigate around some country lanes, hopefully it won't be too noisy in here. It's mainly at motorway speeds, it becomes a bit unbearable with noise, but there are a lot of rattles, and it is just a very kind of, what's the best way to put it, kind of visceral experience. Oh, also it's a manual, which is fun. First things first, why do I like this car? So as you can already tell within first 30 seconds of starting the car up, this is a beast. This is one very, very, very loud car, and one very entertaining car at that as well. So it's got a sports exhaust which makes it extremely loud. start with some of the things that I love about this car in particular. So the first big thing is the engine. So for those of you who don't know, the Boxster and Cayman platform is a mid-engined car, and the 911 is a rear engine, so it has it out the back. What this means as a driver is you've got the engine literally right behind here. So it really does add to the experience of driving this car. It's noisy, it's to an extent raw, in that this being for the first generation of Boxster, it's a lot less refined than, for example, the 718 Boxster I drove last year, which was a lot more refined. Yeah, it was a better handling product, but emotionally, as I've mentioned, did nothing for me. And I think that one of the big problems with that is because of this car. So the engine is a big thing. So the Boxster had two engine variants. It was first released with a 2.5 flat six. They then upped that to a 2.7, and then later on they introduced the S variant, which is this, and that had the 3.2 flat six, producing 260 brake horsepower at 6,400 RPM, and I think around 228 pound-foot of torque, which was delivered in full at 4,600. In terms of driving this car, it feels very torquey compared to the 2.7, yet it's still very, very happy to go to that top end and sing at, 7,000 to deliver you all of that power. So those figures I've just quoted to you may not sound like a lot in, given today we've got 300 brake horsepower plus hot hatches. But the difference is this car is light, it's nimble, there's not much to it, there's no electric anything other than windows. I think everything else is mainly like no electric steering, there's no ESP, there's no traction. It's a very, very raw car in that sense. With its mid-engine, the balance is phenomenal. Steering is brilliant, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. So that's the engine. We've discussed it, talked about the power, talked about the torque. One thing I would like to say about this engine is quite often, if you do enjoy revving it out, you will find you can be at illegal speeds very, very quickly, which obviously can be a downside depending how you drive. So some people actually say the 2.7 offers a better road car, although it has less power, has less torque. It's actually a lot more fun to drive on the roads because you get to work it a lot more and you're not breaking speed limits whilst doing so. The next thing I want to talk about, which I've actually just kind of touched on because they go hand in hand, is the balance of this car. This car is, with it being a mid-engine car, as I've mentioned, has fantastic balance. And what this enables you to do is you can really be able to pick your line going into a corner. You can, if you need to, make that little mid-corner adjustment to ensure you're on the line and then get on the power and get out of that corner as soon as possible. It's easy to manage oversteer with this car. Very, very easy to manage oversteer. Sometimes it can be a little bit snappy, but to be honest, with corrective lock and the throttle, that's easily manageable and makes this for one hell of a driver's car. Another thing which plays into that kind of balance, and as I've just said, allows you to kind of position yourself in going into a corner, mid-corner and corner exit, and that is the steering. So what the steering allows you to do is really, really precisely pick where you want to put this car. So whether that is into the apex of a corner or you're on public roads and you just very precisely want to thread it down a quite narrow and tight country lane, this car will allow you to do that. So you get fantastic feedback through the wheel, so you've always got an idea of what the front end is up to, how much grip you've got over that front axle. Is it going to tear away at any point? So whilst I find in the Beamer the steering can be very direct, particularly in sport, one thing it really does lack is feel and feedback, and that is something this car has in abundance, and that's mainly due to the fact it uses a hydraulic rack, which obviously massively helps feel and consistency through the wheel as well. Like, I'm really not a fan of these variable ratio racks that have been used of late. Audi use them a lot. I just don't like them. I like that consistency and being able to predict what the steering's going to do and what I need lock to lock, and it not being speed dependent. Being completely honest, and most importantly, I actually think that one of the most important things in this car in particular, which makes me absolutely love it, is this. I don't think you can see this on a camera, but this is a gear stick. So this car is a manual, it's got 3 pedals, and to be honest, if this car was an auto, there is not a chance I would enjoy driving this the way I do. So with a manual, I've got full control over when I change gears, I've got full control over the clutch pedal, and really one of the things I have been practicing for years to do is heel and toe. And I must admit, the pedal setup on this car for heel and toe is fucking brilliant. Apologies for the language. So not only is this a manual, it's got a lovely pedal setup which allows you to really get involved on upshifts, downshifts, and using heel and toe to keep that engine speed up when you're downshifting and maintaining balance of the car. So yeah, wouldn't have this in anything but a manual. Even if it was a daily driver, I would still opt for it as a manual, being completely honest. The only thing I think I want to mention around the manual though is that sometimes it is a little bit notchy and wants to fight with you to be in first or second, which can be quite irritating sometimes, but that's only when it's cold. As soon as it's warmed up, you've got no problems in selecting gears whatsoever. To be honest, it is a lovely gearbox. It's got a very positive feel to it, quite a short throw, and generally is quite a pleasant experience, which is why I would recommend it. The other thing I like about this car, which I am going to demonstrate to you guys now, is the fact it's a convertible, because what that allows you to do is be so much more involved in the drama. What I might actually do is just pull over for a second, knock the roof down, and then we'll get on our way till the other end, and then I'll put it back up. So roof mechanism, dead simple. All you have to do, press the handle, pull it down, and then you press the button. Right, roof down. Let's go.